there's this guy, and I met him when I moved to this school. I've been in a bunch of different schools, but I moved from a school that I'd been at most of my life to this new school. And I knew a couple of people from there, and they were introducing me. But on the first day, I met this guy, and he was this really warm, awesome guy. But we related, we built like a genuine friendship, but it was relating over stupid shit that we've done as like teenage experience and whatnot. Over the next few months, I got to know him really well. He's actually turned out to be a really nice guy, and I thought he was a legend. But I left Hong Kong, and I didn't speak to him like all the time. Every now and then I did. I always thought he was a really like fucking awesome guy, but when I came back from, so I'd gone to school in Australia, and he had gone the exact same school, and I had shared my experience with him, how I'd actually had a really horrible time and people treated me really horribly. Like I genuinely had a shit time. I was copping it, and I shared like pretty much everything. I remember this day super fucking clearly. I had finally felt like so close to somebody, like I could fucking trust somebody. This guy had gone through exactly what I'd been through. He gave me all the advice that's helped him. Honestly, he just talked about it and he understood. It wasn't the same as talking about it with someone else who didn't really understand, who hadn't been through something I'd been through. But when I was talking to this guy, he fully got it, and he was completely understanding, and I had a great chat with him. This guy's a fucking legend. I loved him so much more after that, because we didn't not only like relate about positive things, we actually had such a similar negative experience that we both had went through, and it made me feel so much better that I wasn't the only person who'd gone through it. That this guy, who's I thought was a legend in the first place, actually went through exactly what I went through. And the other week I was messaging him about advice, and it just meant a lot when he said like, yeah, just give me a call whenever things are hard. That's what he said after a long conversation about my school and everything. And it genuinely meant a lot. And the reason that this happened is because I got deep. I opened up to him. I told him everything that I'd been through, or a lot of what I've been through. He wouldn't have talked about how he had like such a horrible time that much if I didn't bring it up. He wouldn't have spoken to me and given me advice if I hadn't brought it up and told him that I was doing it a little bit tough and not enjoying school. And it's actually starting to get a lot better. Back in the day, I was going through it horribly. And that's not the point though. The point is, I got deep and I told him, I was genuinely honest with him, and he respected it. And we built such a stronger friendship from that. On Saturday, I was out with a group of friends, and as we were walking out, like it was right before we are gonna go out because we're at our friend's house. We had a good chat for a couple hours. I was starting to get comfortable with these guys. I didn't, like, I see these guys, so I go up to introduce myself to him, and I'm like, though, this is all the things that I've been. I didn't like immediately open up or anything, but after a few hours of like actually vibing with this guy, I felt like I could trust him. I started opening up slowly by slowly, and he was actually really supportive, and like I connected really well with him in that moment as I just started to tell him what my experience at that school had been like, and he asked me a few questions. I told him more, and he said he completely understood. And for the rest of that night, I felt so much fucking close to that guy. I genuinely feel like I'd really trust him. And this only happens when you open up. Like, I think it's such a ignored part of male relationships. Like, people don't fucking open up nowadays. And I'm not saying go around and be a fucking pussy. I'm just saying be open and be friendly, and when there's somebody you trust or you're having a good time with, open up a little bit and see how they react. And sometimes you build the best relationships doing that. I'm doing that right now, and I'm doing it to tons of people. I'm filming my YouTube, filming my experience, and there's people who message me who I really appreciate them, by the way. And they're like, and they've built a connection with me because I'm going through something that they're going through, and I'm talking about it openly. I'm opening up right now. I want to tell you exactly how you can build really genuine, high quality friendships. One of the biggest things you can do is get deep, but I'm going to break you through exactly how I did it. Like I didn't think about how I was doing it. I just know like how to make good friends. And so now in hindsight, I'm going to look back at what I actually did with my mail on Saturday and explain it, because I want other people to be able to make good friends, to make genuine connections. So subscribe, follow my Instagram at Finnaman. I was in a good mood. I'd gone to the gym. I arrived and I said like this one guy. So there was these two guys who were like good friends of mine. And then there was this one guy there was this one guy I'd never met before. I introduced myself to him and ended up having a blast. We had a great chat for the next few hours, got some food and everything. And I think the most important thing that helped me get off well with these guys was me just being happy. I was like, yeah, lovely to meet you. Imagine this, right? Somebody comes up to you and they're like, yo, what's up, bro? How you doing? Whereas, yo, how you doing, mate? How's your day been? Then they ask you how your day was and you go, yeah, I've had a great day. If you approach yourself like that, which only happens when you're in a good mood, if you present yourself like that, you're gonna make good friends, 100%. People love high energy people. There's this thing, it's just so simple, but so many people miss it. You meet somebody, just smile and say nice to meet you and shake their hand. That's just the basics, bro. If you're not doing that, it's gonna be so hard to make good friends because honestly, one of the biggest things with relationships is sometimes people don't really know if you like their company or not. And so you need to show yourself as like you're actually enjoying being around somebody. And the simplest way to say that is nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. How simple is that? Just say that and smile. And people will be thousands of times more comfortable with you. So fucking simple. You know, one of the most important things though, when I was in this, having these conversations is I was relaxed. And, the reason that I was relaxed in this situation was because I knew two of these guys really well. You might be wondering how to be more relaxed. Well, let me tell you a story, right? This one time I was walking with this guy and it was kind of my first time having a chat with him. But as we were walking, I started to lose conversation a bit, started to get a bit awkward, but I just kept it going. And I realized that every time I kept trying to keep it going, I just sounded weird and I got a bit stressed out. And so what I did is I just took some silence for a little bit and I didn't really say much. I just kept continuing this conversation and then letting it die every now and then when I didn't want to speak. So after about 20 seconds of us walking together, because it's a long walk to get from this class to the other, after that long walk of me and him speaking and then going quiet, being quiet for a long period of time, it was so much easier to then think of something naturally when it actually came up, when I actually wanted to speak about it. And then we would continue conversation again. And the biggest thing I learned from that is, holy shit, you don't need to be speaking the whole fucking time. I don't know why I didn't realize that. It's just common sense. You don't need to be speaking every hour of the day and every time you're with somebody. You can literally be fully silent with somebody for minutes. As long as it's not the first time you're meeting somebody, it doesn't matter if you don't say anything. Nobody's gonna be 100% talkative all the time. That's fucking ridiculous. And it was just so brain dead for me. I finally realized, I need to stop worrying about not speaking all the time. It's okay to be quiet. One thing that I noticed I did throughout this night, once I was comfortable with being quiet, not saying things all the time, and every now and then somebody would say something and I would think of a joke. It would just come to my mind, and there was the first time this joke came up in my mind, I didn't say it, but I realized just because I know this kind of topic, that when things come up in your mind and you don't want to say them, it's not usually your fault. It's usually somebody else's voice. I realized when I was younger, my mom, or even this holiday the last week, when I'm with her, she's always like, oh, be quiet, don't speak so loud. She's just worrying about what fucking other randos think about you unnecessarily. Even if I'm not doing anything bad, in the sauna was loud apparently. But I realized that wasn't me not wanting to tell that joke. That was my mom telling me that I didn't want to tell that joke. And I just said it anyways. And they fucking cracked themselves up. It was I'm not even joking. They literally said, oh yeah, that was a good call, bro. And honestly, so many times it's come up with, I want to say something and you just don't. That is the worst thing you can do. Just let it flow, because we overthink what we say way too much. Honestly, what we say doesn't even matter that much. You might get deep with somebody, and I kind of understand if it doesn't work out. You need to be able to tell if somebody is a dickhead or not. There's just some random cunts, you can tell they don't have any fucking values or respect. There's just some absolute dickheads. And the thing about them is, you gotta just take the L sometimes on trying to open up with them. Sometimes you build a really good relationship opening up to some kind of dickhead. But a lot of the time you might get fucking disrespected about it. People laugh, people tell other people what you said. You might stay away from those people. If you can't tell right now, who's a good person and who's not, that's all right. Just take the L on some people being disrespectful every now and then, because if you open up to enough people or get deep about something you've gone through, there's gonna be somebody else who's gone through exactly what you're going through, and you're gonna be fucking close mates. And it's not gonna matter if one or two people hated on you. If you're the kind of guy, like, I fucking love boxing, I can't lie. It's just so fucking fun to me. And I'm signing up for a boxing gym. In other places in the world, I do go box consistently, but in my circumstance, it's just really hard to get out there. And I've been making fucking fuck, this just fell off. But yeah, I've just been making excuses about not going, and I'm gonna sign up. I'm gonna go on Tuesday, otherwise I'm a bitch. And I think that you should do something similar. You should sign up to something that you're passionate about. Now, I'm a boxing guy, I'm a gym guy, but you might be a fucking chess guy. I used to be a chess guy. There was these massive chess tournaments every month or so. Oh, the best I ever did was top 4. I was so mad I wasn't in top 3. But yeah, that's actually really good. And I was grinding chess for a while. And what I realized is when I was going out to those chess tournaments with the people, I was making friends there. Like, I genuinely was meeting good friends, because we could talk about, like, oh, rook to e4, and then the pawn and the queen's fucking, I forgot all the opening names, fried liver attack and shit. You can talk about all of that easily. You get along with people so well when, especially if you're really good at chess, then you're there, everybody respects the fuck out of you. You're instantly liked. Being respected means you're liked a lot of the time. If you're not going to a place where you might meet new people in the first place, you're never going to make new friends. That's the advice I have for you. Subscribe, follow my Instagram @Finaman, link in the description. Have a great day, brother. Message me if you need anything. Take care of yourself.